Hi, we are Enabling Autism LLC. In this video, we will share you 5 tips to handle autism. This is part 1 of a series. Let's get to it. Before we start, we would like to let you know that we are not certified nor licensed to give professional advice. These are our own personal opinions and recommendations based on our own personal experience with our autistic child. Please use self-judgment and consult with your medical professional. Thank you. The first, but also the most important, is to be calm and be patient. It sounds very obvious, but it is so difficult to maintain throughout the day. It is critically important for us parents to keep our emotions in check because children read off of our emotion. And for autistic children, sometimes emotion is the only mean of communication. And so if us being calm, we can handle the situation much better and your child might read off of it and react accordingly. If the child decides to continue with the tantrum, at least it's only one side. You, being calm, can handle the situation much better. Take deep breath, stretch, walk away briefly, and come back to face the issues together with your child. Take enrichment walks when you can. If it is not possible or convenient, do physical exercise together, jumping jack, walk on treadmill, anything that create bonds through an activity together. Lastly, play gentle ambient sound. I'm a big believer in brainwave and how it is impacting our emotions. And so minimize the children exciting songs or music and play more of the ambient sound. I have a list that you can use. However, you can just search on YouTube. There are thousands of them to select from. Just make sure you document the emotion of your child and just keep the one that works well. Number 2, use a dedicated timer. Try not to use your phone. Get a set of the digital ones for a couple bucks on Amazon. Links right down below. But every task should have a timer. The negotiation on how long each task should be gotta be done prior to starting off the task. But you have to be reasonable and make sure your child have enough time to carry out and complete the task. But you put the burden on your child to respect the timer. When the time is up, you end the activities right there and then. And your child will fight back, will cry, will throw a tantrum. But over time, they learn to respect it. If you persist, you put the burden, the responsibility, and the decision making on the timer. Look, time is up. I have to turn off the TV. I have to take the iPad away. It's not my decision, so you are not the decision maker. The timer is, and you're just a messenger carry out when the task is done. Number 3, establish routines. Group various tasks into routines if they are being done on a daily basis around the same time. That way, we make the tasks repeatable and the outcomes are predictable. At our house, we have morning routines, mid-morning, lunch, afternoon, and nightly routines. Let me give you an example of our morning routines, which include waking up calmly, a trip to the bathroom, do our personal hygiene, washing faces, brushing hair, brushing teeth, change of clothes, right? And then we go downstairs for warm honey water, milk, breakfast. That's a 30 to 45 minutes routines, but our kids know they can't move on and do anything else unless those tasks have been completed and make it very predictable. And it is in their interest to get those done so that they can move on to whatever that they need to do. For Aiden, our mid-morning enrichment walk is a routine by itself because we need socks on, shoes on, hats on, sunglasses on. A 5-10 minutes walk, come back in, wash our hands when we start the day. So routine help fill up the schedule and make everything sort of predictable, and over time you don't have to remind as much because the tasks are known. Now the only thing that we need to balance is when it is that we have to fully commit to the routine and when we can do a partial routine because of weather not permitting, when it's not convenient or possible. And so when you set up this routine, make sure you leave room for skip, as some of our autistic children are very fixated to get things done thoroughly. And so that is something that you have to keep in mind when implementing this. It is essential to have routines. It will help you so much. It will help our children as well. Number 4, don't just say no. You got to pair your no's with corrective action or statement when possible. You have to create a distraction from the undesirable action toward a desirable outcome, which require desirable action. For example, there was a period of time when Aiden kept on opening the door and left it open. We asked him to stop several times and he continued to do so. However, when I say if you leave the door open, the moth's gonna come in and bite you. The mosquito gonna fly in and bite you and leave the red mark on your skin. It's gonna be very itchy. Awesome. It is in his best interest to stop because he doesn't like the red dot on his skin. And he went on to remind us to close the door. In the morning, he doesn't like to do his schoolwork. He whined and he dragged on and he cried about it. Right? We couldn't just hey, stop crying, do your work, it wouldn't work. However, if we say, would strong boys be crying? Are you a strong boy? Do you like to get your 10 A pluses for the week so you can get $2? If you want your $2, you have to do your work now. Otherwise, you won't have enough A pluses for that $2. Also, there's something for him, and it is in his best interest to get the work done. Otherwise, he wouldn't get his A pluses. And so the only way that we can achieve it is for him to be motivated from within, not because we tell him to do so. And so whatever works for you, of course, life is not that easy and things are not that simple. But for the most part, whenever you can implement that sort of approach, please do so because it makes it easier for you and it makes the child very motivated. So focus on the desirable outcome that she or he wants. Do you like your 10 minutes of iPad? If you do, you gotta do X, Y, and Z. Tell them, I don't make that rule. That's what it should be. If you do X, Y, Z, you get your 10 minutes of iPad. If you do A, B, C, or you don't do X, Y, Z, you're not gonna get it. That's just it. Number 5, be firm, but also be empathetic. When the timers go off on screen time, TV time, or any activities, we gotta end it right there and then. However, you can be empathetic and say, I'm sorry, but the timer goes off. We need to end it. And then you quickly redirect and focus on to the next task, the next routine. Let's go do some jumping jack, walk on treadmill, go for a walk, have some snack time, etc. But we quickly move on from the activities. In the event where the child fight back to prolonged activities, which happens quite a bit, do not back down from the determined decision. That's why it's very important that we communicate the expectation before we start. Regardless of the outburst, the tantrum, we need to hold on to that decision. We want our autistic children to learn, and part of learning is to respect the decision, take no for an answer, and if they carry on with their outburst over time, they learn to not waste their effort because regardless of their action, the outcome already determined. At times, I have seen parents, myself included, gives in because we feel bad, we want to avoid the outburst, etc. But over time, it will do more harm than good. Because our children do not need to learn. They get what they want by expressing undesirable actions or emotion outbursts. We need to take control of that emotion of theirs. And part of doing so is be firm with the predetermined decisions. That's all I have for this video. Feel free to check out my other videos to the parents and the learning content for the children. Looking forward to interact with you through our Facebook page. For now, please take care. May God bless you and your child. See you on the next video. Bye bye now.